Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin, and welcome to our brand new series, Indiana Jones. We're going to be reviewing every Indiana Jones movie leading up to the new Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny. Or is it Dial and Destiny? I'm pretty sure it's Dial of Destiny. And so, I'm really excited for this. I enjoy the Indiana Jones fans. I love Harrison Ford, and I'm really excited for the new one. So. I would love to, do these reviews. I have other reviews that I need to do on the channel. I still have the Fast and the Furious ones to do, which I'll have a Fast review out very soon for that. And so, kind of like cramping things together, but we're also in a time period where there's not a lot of movies out that much. Yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy the review. I gotta say, Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark has one of the best openers in cinematic history, and I really like the setup and the suspense to this film. Steven Spielberg really knows what he's doing, just showing. We don't even really know who it is at the moment. All you really see is a shadow figure, and he's kind of like sort of mysterious, and you can see that he's looking for something. He has these two guys. And the only time the time that we get to see his face is at the moment is when he's one of the guys pull a gun on him, and that at that moment you see Indiana Jones come out of the shadow with he whips his whip at with the guy that has the gun, drops the gun, runs away, and he just walks out of the shadow, and it's a very subtle type of background soundtrack. It's not like the classic Indiana Jones, at least yet, and so it kind of feels like he's sort of the villain in some form, and it's really cool to see that. And it's just the mysterious of Indiana Jones at this moment is cool, and as we kind of see him be this hardcore badass, telling things what are booby traps later on. It's stay out of the light, and he's really smart and such, and then but then things kind of just start falling apart, and it just shows that he's just a normal guy, and which one of the guys that died in the first scenes in the movie is played by Alfred Molina's, which it took me a while to realize that. Didn't know that was him. I was like, that guy looks familiar, and apparently it was just Alfred. It was just Alfred Molina's, which is really cool. So I guess for anyone that didn't know that. So basically, the way that this movie just starts out, it's with Indiana Jones running out of the temple. Also, that classic boulder that everyone knows about that works somehow to this day, and it's chasing Indiana Jones, and he just barely makes it out alive. This is where we kind of meet our actual villain of the movie, Rain, who is played by Paul Freeman. I was about to say Alfred Moreland. I can't speak at the moment, apparently. Which is a great setup to everything, because then we get one of the most funniest scenes in the movie is with Indiana Jones just running for his life. And in this moment, you just really can see that he's no superhero. He's just some guy that enjoys doing what he does and going out exploring and finding these artifacts and trying to and just putting them in museums. He's such a geek for that type of stuff, and just seeing him run away from 30 freaking native people. I forget what they're actually called, and just running to the plane and getting in the plane, and when that's taken off, and you find out that he's scared of snakes. There is so much good stuff in this film that makes Indiana Jones so relatable, and that you can and you just see that he's just a normal guy, especially when they show off that he's a teacher, and that just shows even more of his personality, of a passion in what he does, and it's so good in that way. It's funny enough that from this whole entire movie is basically based off back of a box of a cartoon on a cereal box. Apparently it's there's cartoon back in the old days. There was cartoons on a back of the cereal box, and apparently this was somewhat based off of those, which is really cool. and like there's so much like cool like backstories to what things are for what reasons, and it's just I just really enjoyed it. And honestly, I kind of just want to get to the fun stuff. I want to talk about the action sequences. The action sequences are a ton of fun, and like they are legit like practical effects, and it's you don't really see films like this do this type of stuff anymore like now these days. Like when Indiana Jones gets to the part where he's like driving a truck and he's like throwing people out of like the car, and when you see the stuntman like hitting the ground, it's like that looks so painful and so real. It's just like, yes, that is so, and it's like that's what makes filmmaking so good, because it shows off like what hard work goes through, and not everything has to be CGI. Again, this was made in a time where CGI wasn't really a thing. I'm trying to remember if Jurassic Park came out after this. I think it might have. This came out before Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park came out in 1993. This came out in 1981, and so you can just like feel like you just feel like there's so much hard work that's put into this, and especially when this film has blood in it. An Indiana Jones film that has blood. What? Bar fight scene in the movie is one of the best like shootout scenes in the whole entire movie. It's like Indiana Jones is going like bah, bah, and you can like, and it feels like he's shooting a real gun. It feels really real. Like you just can see that there's like a kick to it. But man, when there's people getting shot and dying, like it's just really bloody. People are complaining about like Temple of Doom. I mean, there is stuff that goes way farther into that film, but one of the points that they make in that movie is that it's really gore. Hey, Raiders of the Lost Ark made some gore. All right, Indiana Jones is not a movie for kids. At least it wouldn't be now these days. If it was coming out like this, this would definitely be a rated R film. What makes even Indiana Jones even more have a heart is like when Miriam just like there's this character in the film called Miriam, who is played by Karen Allen, and she and they used to have like a like they used to be together in the past. And like their first scene together is really good. It's just like the writing for them is so good, and the expeditions that they give off of one another is so good and portrayed very well. And you can feel in the performance of Harrison Ford that he is making his character that he is truly sorry for what he did in the past. And when it comes back later on, when Miriam is supposedly dead, where Indiana Jones thinks he's dead, you see him actually mourn for this for her, and you see him taking a drink, and basically just kind of wants to die. You want to talk to God? Yeah. Well, let's go both talk to God. Those are like this is what stuff that makes Indiana Jones good, is the writing side. It's not just the action pieces. And I'm hoping that the new one realizes that Indiana Jones, like the Indiana Jones movies, are character kind of movies. They ain't they are blockbusters. They technically are. I just hope that they don't sideline the story that much, and they just kind of make it a little lazy, and will just have fun action sequences. I want both. And towards to the end of the movie, when everything starts kind of like coming to a close, like Indiana Jones has the opportunity to like basically blow up the Ark and basically sort of kill everyone. And he's like, and he's like, he's gonna do it. But then Rain comes out, it's like, yeah, I know that you ain't gonna do it, because you want to see it open more than I do, because he like Rain knows how much that this type of stuff is important to Indiana Jones, and he can use that against him. And it's like one of the weakness for Indiana Jones is that his passion, and like he basically just dedicates his life to finding these things and having that closure when he after the journey and type of stuff. And so, and I just like that's just such good writing. And you like another point like made that he really enjoys like what he does is like when they are finding the Ark with the staff, is that when the light and like the light goes through the through the symbol thing, and when it starts lighting everything up, you can sort of see Indiana Jones smiling, and it's so good. And it's like I don't really even have a problem with this movie. There's kind of like one scene that I have sort of a problem with, but it's sort of intercut with Indiana Jones finding the Ark in the desert, and it's when Miriam is captured, sort of, and she's having dinner with Rain, and so. Like that's kind of like the only thing that I have a problem with. Not because it feels choppy. It's just that it just feels a little bit boring. And so I'm pretty sure Steven Spielberg even saw that and just kind of wanted to, let's put Indiana Jones's, like, chop it up and like put them together, and it feels nice. It doesn't ruin the pacing at all. It's just that if that scene itself, I'm just like, you can easily cut that out of the movie, and it wouldn't really change anything. But then we want to get the funny gag of the hanger, where it looks like looks like this sort of like torture tool, but then it turns into a hanger. So that was pretty funny. And so basically at the end of the movie, Miriam and Indiana Jones get captured, and they're literally about to open this up. And so he's like, all right, Miriam, you need to close your eyes. Don't open it. Whatever you do, just don't open your eyes. We're not supposed to look at it. And so basically, like, it's like it turns into sort of like Ghostbusters-ish, where beams are getting shot out of this box, and like Nazis are blowing up, and it's just brutal. And Jesus, the blood! Like, there's so much blood in this movie. There's heads exploding. There's faces melting, and it's like, and their eyeballs are like, ugh. It's like, yes, thank you. And I miss Steven Spielberg's type of style from this, and what the next film in the Indiana Jones franchise probably hinged on that, and kind of like made him want to do things different, because he probably got hit hard with that criticism, and so it's just. That stuff is so good, and it adds so much more to the film. I really enjoyed it. Like, it's not very much of a final act, like action-packed type of ending that most people would like, but it was so good, and the writing was so good. The suspense built up to it. Basically, everyone wants to see it. Indiana Jones wanted to see it open. Basically, everyone's dead, and Indiana Jones and Miriam somehow get off this island. That's kind of like a plot hole. It's the same. It's kind of like a plot hole. It's like, how did Indiana Jones survive on the submarine? But there's actually a deleted scene that sort of explains that. And if you look very closely in the montage, you can see Indiana Jones on the antenna. But it's like, yeah, how did they get off this island? And they probably maybe called in for help or something with the radio, but they appear back on the mainlands at a court, and basically they took the Ark and they hid it somewhere. They won't tell Indiana Jones. I mean, we figure out thanks to crystal skulls, and was taken to Area 51. So yeah, I enjoyed Raiders of the Lost Ark. I really love this film. We give Indiana Jones: The Raiders of the Lost Ark an A+. If you guys haven't checked it, I've watched it in a while, go watch it. Indiana Jones is just one of those heartwarming films, and even though that it's dark, it has this warmness to it that you can just put on and watch and have a good time with it. I'm excited to do this series, and I'm excited to talk about Indiana Jones and see the new Indiana Jones movie. Harrison Ford, glad to see you back on that, and maybe this will be your send-off type of film, and hopefully it is really good where you can have your Logan moment, and that'll be really good. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and like always, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.